Hello, Miguel from Grumo here, and I'm going to show you how to create a Glide app that leverages Glide's new integration with ChatGPT. The app allows you to get suggestions for anything you want to. Let's say that you want to get recipes for something to eat tonight, you want to get great books to read or ideas for horror movies to watch, absolutely anything. There's already some ideas here that we can use to prompt. For example, words that make me look smart in conversation. And then it's going to search using OpenAI's API. And then there you go. You have a few words that make you very smart in conversation, like vestige or erudite or inane. And then if you like them, you can simply go and save them to favorites. And your favorites are saved here. I have a bunch of them already. So pretty cool app that I'm going to show you how to build now. If you want to get a copy of this Glide template, just go to grumo.com/suggestai. Now let me show you how to build this app from scratch. So you're going to go to your Glide account and create a new project. And here now I have a new project. I already gave it a name. It's called Suggest AI and uploaded an icon. And then I deleted all the tables that come by default. I only have one table. It's called the users table. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a new table where I'm going to enter the searches, right? I'm going to call this search. And then I need two main columns. One column where I'm going to store the searches and the other column where we're going to store the output that comes from OpenAI. So let me just create a column here. It's going to be user specific. So every user has their own independent searches saved locally. And I'm going to call this prompt input. So that's what we're searching. And then we're going to have another user specific column, which is going to be the prompt output. So this is what's going to come back from OpenAI. And we can actually test this really quickly right now. If we go to our layout and create screen from data, from search, we delete everything there and we just enter a new text entry component. This is going to be our search, which we're going to save under our prompt input. And now we're going to have a button to submit the search. Okay. And what we can do now is create a new action. And it's going to use the OpenAI integration. But before we do that, we need to go to settings and integrations. And we have to add the OpenAI integration. So we're going to click view, then add to app. And then you need to get your API key, which I'm going to save here right now. But to get your API key from OpenAI, you just have to go to platform.openai.com. You're going to create an account, and then you can go to API keys and create new secret key. And then you're going to copy that and paste that inside your Glide account. Once you have that, you can start using the custom action that uses the OpenAI integration. So I can go back to actions. I'm going to title this search, and I'm going to search for the answer question option from the OpenAI integration. And the question is going to be the prompt, and the output is going to go here, output. There you go. So that's as easy as that is how we can start using Glide's OpenAI integration. Now let me just create a text component where we're going to show the output of our search, and let me connect that to the output. So if I search for anything here, for example, top movies by Almodovar, let's see what happens. Some of the top movies by filmmaker Pedro Almodovar include Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, All About My Mother, and Talk to Her, and Volver. So you can see that's correct. It's already working. So the rest of the app is making sure that this becomes a list that we can save. We can save independent items. And for that, you need to create a custom prompt that returns the data in a specific format, in this case, in JSON format. So to do that, we need to create a specific prompt. And for that, we're going to use a template column, right? And we're going to call this prompt temp. And here, let me just paste the actual prompt. So the prompt is generate a JSON object with X, so the X number of items that meets this criteria. The criteria is Z. We're going to replace that with the actual prompt input from the user. Then provide a very short explanation of why you choose each item and add it to the parameter explanation. Only provide the code, don't enumerate its result. Use this schema. So basically you can copy and paste this prompt and you can tweak this prompt as much as you want to get the results that you really want to. So this is one way of doing this prompt. With these AI chats, really the trick is how to prompt them so you get the data in a way that you want to. In this case, we want the data in JSON format so we can process that and create a list of items, and once we have all the items separately, we can manipulate them independently. Okay, so now that we have that template, what we need to do is, well, in this case, you know what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hardcore the number of results, but you could have that differently if you want to. So I'm going to say 5 results. Now remember that the more data that you want to get back or you process, the costlier it's going to get, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that when you go to usage, OpenAI charges you by the number of tokens that are processed. So I have here 101 requests, and each request is going to cost me money based on the amount of tokens that have been processed. So if you say, for example, give me 100 results, then that probably goes beyond what OpenAI can give you anyways, but it's going to get more expensive, right? So in this case, we're going to restrict the amount of results to 5, but we want to replace this variable Z by the actual prompt input. And for that, we're going to create a new column, and it's going to be, we're going to call this prompt final. And it's going to be a template type of column where we're going to grab our custom prompt, right? And we're going to replace the Z value with the actual prompt input. And what else do we have here? Provide a very short explanation why you chose each item. Great. So that's the only variable that we really have to change. And then prompt output is going to be saved there. Now we can test this again, but we have to update the OpenAI integration action so the prompt input is actually the final processed input. Let me just do this from the actual layout here. Movies by Pedro Almodovar. We should get a JSON object that then we can process. Let's see. There you go. And this is perfectly formatted as a JSON object. We have the title of the movie and then a little explanation of whatever that result was, in this case a movie. So here it's Almodovar's classic Mediterranean drama featuring multiple plot lines for All About My Mother. So the next thing we want to do is process these results so we can convert them into a list of results. And we're going to create a new table called results. Okay. In this case, we're going to hard code it to only have 5 results. So we're going to change this to result ID. It's going to be of the type number, precision 1, no group separator. And we're going to start with 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. There you go. Because we're grabbing the items, the result items from a JSON object, we need to start from 0 because in programming, arrays always start in 0. So the next thing we're going to do is grab the actual JSON object from our search table. And for that, we're going to grab the prompt output using a single value column that grabs the first item from our searches, and that's going to be from the output. And now we have the prompt output for all our 5 results. And the next thing we need to do is grab the title and description for each of the 5 results. To do that, we're going to create a new column. It's going to be called title, and it's going to be of JavaScript type. And you can enter 3 variables that we can process. The first one is going to be the prompt output. The second one is going to be the result ID, so we can grab the title of each result independently. And the actual code, you can basically copy it from here. But what we're doing is we're parsing the JSON object using JavaScript native function called parse, right? And then we're grabbing the item P2, which is the result ID, inside the object, and we want to grab, in this case, the title, the parameter title. And as you can see now, we grab the correct parameters and they're already showing up in the results of the computed column. And we're going to duplicate this for the explanation. So we can call this explanation because that is how we called it. And that is working as well. So what we can do now is go to layouts, remove the text with the prompt output, and enter a collection of the type list that grabs the results. And then we can clean this up. And the title is going to be the title. And for description, we're going to have the explanation. And we can remove the actions and the search too. And there we go. Now we have the results loaded here. So we can do another search because this is already working. So let's say talk books about space. Anything you want to, really. It should generate 5 results. Cosmos, The Right Stuff, Contact, Red Mars, The Elegant Universe. And let's try another one. Top comedy movies from the 90s. All right. There you go. Home Alone, Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day is one of my favorites. So now let's say you want to save this. Well, you can create a new action here. Let's just clean this up. And add a text field. We're going to center it. We're going to duplicate it. And we're going to grab the title and then the description here. And the title is going to be headline large. And we could add a button. Okay, for here we can have this. And let me just add a button, which would be basically saving this. So for that, we need to create a new table, which is going to be favorites. Okay. And here we're going to have the title and the explanation. So now we can save any result that we want to by creating a new action. Save to favorites and create a new action. We're going to call this save. And what it's going to do is going to add a new row to the favorites table where we're going to save the title and the explanation. And we can have notifications here saying saved. There you go. So now we save it. And now it's been saved. We can see that on our favorites table, how it's been saved. And we could have a new tab from screen from favorites. And we could have here all our favorites saved, right? And there we go. Let me just get rid of the actions. No need for the search bar, but a very simple way of saving your favorites. Let me go back to search and do a different search. Top horror movies from the 90s. And I should get 5 results. The Blair Witch Project. I remember that movie, 1999, saved to favorites, and it should be added here. So there you go. This is how you implement the OpenAI integration inside Glide to generate suggestions, but you could do this to do absolutely anything you want to because ChatGPT is pretty amazing. Now, if you want to get the final copy of this app that has also prompts that you can load, that you can create accounts, that has a lot more goodies behind the scenes, just go to grumo.com/suggest AI. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.